Hello and welcome to round 4 of Supreme Racing League Xbox One Tier 1. My name is TR Bosley, and by the looks of things I'll be your sole commentator for this race tonight. We are here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for the 4th round of the season. We join Thomas MB, who is currently the championship leader. He's won the last 2 races and has a 7-point championship lead over Melanie 88, so very tight between those. Just the slight positions could make all the difference. Very tight track here at Azerbaijan, not an easy one to say the least. Little mistake and you'll find yourself in the wall, so it'll be interesting to see if Thomas can take another win. He's had a couple of comfortable wins from what I think, not that comfortable actually, around between 3 and 7 seconds, but Melanie has been on the podium every race so far, so he'll be looking to keep that up. As I said, it looks like I'm the only commentator for tonight's race, but we'll go with it. We are on board now with Commando, who is yet to score a point this season. Currently the leaders out of the drivers that have not scored a point. His highest finish being 11th in the last round at China, so maybe he'll be looking to score a point this season. A lot of cars very bunched up coming into this last sector, very slow at the moment between these. Let's go on board with Thomas, who I believe is on a lap. We shall get up the lap data. So Thomas now going to come down to turn 3. Very long sector 1 at this track. You almost feel like it's the end of sector 2. It's a very long track overall, so it's very easy to make a mistake. In your qualifying run, plenty of time to do it. Thomas now coming into this very tight chicane area. Very easy to get on the throttle a little bit early and lose the back end. Now comes to the end of the first sector, a 44.8 at the end of the first sector. Going to come into the notorious castle section now. Wouldn't bet against seeing some incidents in that section of the track during the race or the qualifying today. Very difficult corner to navigate. Thomas in the Sauber was the Tier 2 champion last season. He's now into Tier 1, leading the championship after the 3 races at the end of sector 2. Sure, that's not a 44 again, but we'll go with it. Going to come through this high-speed final couple of corners, a very long straight. We should hopefully see a lot of overtaking moves down this long straight. It's going to open the DRS down to the line. What is it going to be for Thomas? Stay all the way to the left. Going to get a 40.3 is the Sauber driver, so he lays down the benchmark with the first lap of the session. Height comes up just behind him with a 40.4. Verstappen also setting a 40.4, a couple of hundredths ahead of Height. Got RBZ down with a 40.6. Adam Lee with a 41.9. Verstappen not going for another run. Who else might be on all that? We've got Melanie, who's coming through these final couple of corners. Well, I'm not sure if they're close, they probably are. A win here today would at least put him back on level terms, would actually put him ahead a win, so he'll be looking to get that P1, but it is only 6th place for Melanie after that first run, 4 tenths off his championship rival. Commando crosses the line with a 54.1. I don't imagine that was a representative lap time. I certainly hope it wasn't. Ben going to come down to the line with a 40.9, so right on the edge of that 40. Growmaster, the highest of the people that is in the 41s and unable to break into the 40s as of yet. Someone just set a lap, not quite sure who that was. Most Ronin that was. So everyone has set a lap now other than Ninjas, who remains in the garage. As I believe Thomas MB will come into the bits. I think most drivers will only do the 1 run I can't imagine them going for 2. But Thomas does dive into the pits with 6 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Very, very tight gap at the top of the session. Only 300ths covering Thomas and ESR Verstappen. He'll be looking to break Thomas and possibly take that pole position. I don't know whether Verstappen has actually raced yet this season. He has indeed raced 1. I believe he's only a reserve driver, is Verstappen. Yeah, 13th in Bahrain. I don't know if he's full-time, but he was a reserve back at Bahrain. But he's very close to Thomas at the moment, and height not too far back. The top 3 really close together, and then it's RBZ. Good couple of tenths back for 4th place. So RBZ, the best of the rest, it would seem, in the early stage of this qualifying session, as it seems that everyone is coming into the pits, as I said. So looks like there's going to be absolutely no one out on track until everyone comes back out for their runs, as Ben is the last car to come to the pits. So that is everyone into the pits. So I'm going to have to find something to talk about. Let's talk about last season's race. Last season's F1 race was won by someone who is not on the standings, making my life. Great job. Last season's Azerbaijan Grand Prix was won by SRL Hamilton, with Melanie 88 the highest driver from last season, who's currently still in this season's league in 7th place. So no one in the league at the moment that had a good race last season other than Thomas, who did win the F2 race last season. I know that very well. I think Height is gearing up for his outlap, so Height is going to be the first car going out on track. Maybe he will be going for 2 runs, I'm not sure. It seems quite early to go out. It is a long track to get around, so I'm not sure if he'll even have enough time for 2 runs, but it seems very early to get out. Although he might just be getting himself into some traffic. Just want to quickly apologise if my voice sounds a bit strange. I am completely blocked up with cold, but oh well, we'll go with it. So Height, we will stay on board with him, as he will be the first driver do his second runs. I'll just put the thing on to Thomas, so we can quickly switch to him as the provisional pole sitter. Height will be looking at that pole position. He had a very unlucky race last season, so we'll be looking to get a bit back on Thomas. He only needs to find a very small amount. He needs to find half a tenth to provisionally put himself ahead of Thomas. Whether Thomas will improve, I do not know. Height now coming across the line to start his run here at Baku. Going to come into turn 1. Bit of a lock up there. Well, might have just been the spectator camera. He's going to come into turn 2 now. Hitting the apex fairly nicely there. No major mistakes from Height so far on this lap. Not missing the apex or hitting the wall. Going to come into this one. That's a bit wide. I'm not sure if that is the better line, but was a bit wide. Height just keeping it quite tight at the moment. Not going to overstep the boundaries and put himself into the wall. That is the last thing he'd want in the Toro Rosso car. I believe he's had a struggling start to the season. He has indeed, only 12th place in the championship at the moment, so a good result here would mean a lot to Height for championship standings. He's already a long way off championship leader, but any points that he can get in this race will be crucial if he's got any chances of recovering it, or just putting himself as high up the standings as possible. Going to come into this very tricky downhill left-hander. Very easy to take a big bounce off that curb on the left. He ends the second sector. Not quite sure if he is up on Thomas. I don't think he even told me if he was up on his own lap, but he's going to come through the final section of corners. He will have enough time for a second run if he chooses to take it. Not sure if that's why he went out that early. We'll see how much fuel he has left. He may well be going for another run with that fuel. across the line, comes height, and he puts it on provisional pole, the first one into the 40.2s. Currently a tenth and a half gap over Thomas MB, so he's laid down the marker for the Sauber driver to fulfill. Height then puts the pressure on Thomas MB. I'm not sure if he is going for another one height, but he does lay down the marker and puts the pressure on with a solid lap there of the 40.2. Very, very solid lap. Put himself provisionally on pole and give Thomas everything to do in his final run. It will definitely be his final run. Right on the edge for fuel in terms of doing a whole lap in max. 28 seconds, I think he'll be one of the last cars to cross the line. Melanie missed that, puts it into second place with a 40.3. Good improvement there from Melanie. Obviously didn't have the strongest first run, so as it stands it is a Toro Rosso front row lockout, but I'm sure Thomas or Verstappen will be looking to break that. Don't actually know if he's on a lap. He's up on his lap, but he's hit the wall there. I think he was about half tenth up. I'm not sure if he would have lost a lot of time from that. I think he would have done. Doesn't seem to have conceded any front wing damage, but it was about half tenth up, so any improvement could be crucial if he can get it. I'm not sure if he will now be down on his lap, because it was quite a big hit on the wall. Didn't lose many damage, but he's going to open the DRS and come towards the line now. His height in the Toro Rosso. He does not improve in the end. A 40.3, still quicker than what Melanie has done, but would have liked to have that extra time, I'm sure. I'll now go on board with Melanie. I'm not sure if he is improving. We're about to see if he is currently improving. He is not. He's about 10th and a half down, so he probably will not be challenging height. But Thomas is one to look out for to the end of the second sector. Not told me what improvement he's got, which is fantastic. We're going to come through these last couple of corners down to the line. What can Thomas do? Melanie will not improve and finish off P2, but can Thomas break that front row lockout or even take pole position? Going to stick all the way to left again, down to line, and he does indeed do that. What a lap from Thomas with a 40.0. Puts it on pole position with a massive improvement in the end. About a tenth and a half ahead of height. And that was absolutely solid. Now Verstappen down to the line. There's a car on the racing line, and Verstappen puts it in P3. 10th and a half improvement from him. And that will be the qualifying session over. Good position for Verstappen. Third place in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And there is the grid then. Thomas MB in the Sauber takes pole position with height in a very good P2 considering where he is in the championship at the moment. Verstappen with a solid P3, 2/10 off the pole position time. Melanie in 4th. LK in 5th place. Drawmaster in 6th. RBZ 7th. Ninjas in 8th. Pietro Mato in 9th. Ben in 10th. Adam Lee in 11th, Most Ronin in 12th, Hayden 13th, and Commando in 14th, who could not improve on that 54-1, I think it was. So, not the greatest qualifying session for the McLaren. We'll skip that intro, as we now wait for the drivers to go to the grid. Thomas puts himself in a very strong position to retain that championship lead. His main rival Melanie down in 4th, so that's more cars that he's going to have to try and overtake to not lose too much, or to possibly even gain back on Thomas depending on how the race goes. Got 12 seconds till the race start, or until when all the drivers ready up, but it'll probably be the timer that gets us there. So, here we go then. No formation lap. So we have got 5 red lights. And it is lights out and away we go. And Height gets a pretty decent start. He's going to chuck it up the inside. He's going to try and get it. Not quite able to do that. It looks like Kay and Melanie with a bit of battling there. Is that them side by side? I think it is. Melanie loses out, drops down into 5th position. Does the Toro Rosso driver. As Drawmaster now maybe going to look. No, not going to look up the inside of Melanie there. Doesn't seem to be too many crashes, although RB said's going to chuck it up the inside of Drawmaster, and he might have just got that one. Going to try and go all the way around the outside, although Drawmaster does have an inside. Now RBZ has the inside. He does get through. Drawmaster, I think, has been put to the wall. I'm not sure if he has damage. It looks like a normal front wing, but he may have damage, and everyone's starting to go through on him now. As RBZ now dropping more positions into the castle, and Pietro is really slow, and Drawmaster has definitely got front wing damage now. Didn't take very long for a crash in the castle section. As you now go back to the front. Drawmaster round. Oh, and Height. Height has hit the wall into that downhill left-hander, and he has definitely lost his front wing. May have had a collision with Verstappen there, actually. Verstappen going very slowly now. Not quite sure what happened there. Verstappen all the way down to the back of the grid, pretty much. And Melanie gets a 5-second stop-go from that. Oh, ignoring yellow flags, and that's not what he wanted. He's got the positions, but he does receive a penalty. As Thomas is already about 2 seconds in front. Melanie in 3rd, but he will have a 5-second stop-go to serve. As Height now into the pits. Such a disappointment for Height. Got a great qualifying position, but not quite sure what happened there. But Height was definitely in the wall, we know that much. Front wing off, and he is going to have to pit. He's going to go onto the medium compound tyres and change the front wing. I don't think those tyres will go to the end. Commando is going to pit. I feel like going, there we go. Just ahead of Verstappen. So Adam Lee has retired and left the session. As that is Commando round in the pit lane. Not the greatest start for the McLaren. Has to pit and then spins it coming out of the pit lane. Lovely. So we've gone from talking in qualifying about a possible Toro Rosso front row lockout to a current Sauber 1-2 in the race. Melanie ever so slightly dropping off. He did beat Kay in qualifying, but can't stick with him at the moment. He's going to need to do everything he can to stick with him, because this is more points lost to Thomas, and Kay is just behind Melanie in the championship. 23 points behind, so it's a fairly sizable gap, but every point will count, and this will be some points gained back for Kay. It was very, very early in the race, so we can't really predict what will happen. As most Ronin possibly looking to get onto the back of Ben. I think he's slightly caught him up. And RBZ is up there in 5th, only 4 tenths off Ninjas. And we'll go on board with that one actually. RBZ in the Renault. A long-time veteran in SRL. Multiple time runner-up. Didn't quite get the chance in season 5 to show what he's got due to time issues, etc. But he's here now battling for 4th place with Ninjas. Just can't quite get there just yet, although he does seem to have the pace advantage. Maybe he's going to look up the inside, not into there. That would be quite suicidal to go into there. Maybe he's going to look for a move on the start-finish straight in the DRS, or if not, into turn 1. Not the greatest amount of overtaking opportunities here at this Baku circuit, other than 2 very long straights. They are pretty decent opportunities, but if you've not got great straight line speed on your setup, which if you don't, then what are you doing? But if you don't, then you're a bit stuffed, unless you want to chuck it up the inside. But RBZ does get a good run off the corner just back there at the start of the last sector, and he's going to tuck into the slipstream of Ninjas. he will possibly get the DRS. He doesn't need to get the DRS. Not quite sure what lap it was. As I like a better view, sure, why not? Clean move for RBZ. Ninja's unable to put up a fight there against the Renault, and RBZ puts himself up into 4th place. Maybe now we can look to chase down Melanie. Not quite sure if he will be able to do that, but maybe he can. Melanie seems to be struggling for pace at the moment, so maybe RBZ can put the chase on and get himself onto the podium for the 2nd race in a row. Did finish 2nd in the last race at China, 2nd to Thomas, so he has definitely got the pace to get himself onto the podium, but we'll see if he can do it. Most running Ronin has dropped off of Ben. The gap now back to about 1.5 seconds, so the biggest gap, I mean smallest gap even, is Melanie on K. That gap seems to sort of be fluctuating, a 10th one way and then a 10th the other way. Though RBZ is definitely catching Melanie. Was 2.5 when he got past Ninja, it's now 2.1, so we know what RBZ is looking for. He's aiming down the podium, and I don't think it'll take him too long to get there at this pace. So that will be a good 2 races in a row for RBZ to get back onto form after 2 disappointing first races and an overall disappointing season 5, other than his win at Canada. The 2 podiums on the bounce would not be a bad idea for RBZ. Found it quite funny that we saw one of the McLarens going through there, I believe. I don't know which one that was, that was probably Monday. I think it was. RBZ, what is the gap across the line? 2.0, so the gap's sort of staying about the same since I mentioned it. Maybe it's commentate Kirsty's pace. But I don't think I have. I think he will be looking to get on there. Slight brush on the wall. I don't think I would have got him front wing damage. It was a very light tap, but you never know. Can be quite inconsistent. Hayden is into the pits. He's lost his entire front wing by the looks of that. I'm not quite sure exactly how he's done that, but he's had one Renault chasing down the podium, Hayden in the other, into the pits onto the mediums, I think. Half had mediums on, half had softs on. He is indeed onto the medium compound tyres. As we just look at the position changes here, Height and DSR Verstappen both losing out 7 places in the first 5 laps, and so is Drawmaster. Those 3 all losing out 7 places. Everyone else gaining, other than Thomas, who has held on to his pole position. So quite an active first 5 laps of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix, with many position changes, as Hayden has binned it into the wall again. Is that more front wing damage? I would think it is. Don't actually know if that is more front wing damage, but he's beached it, and now Mundo is promoted up to P11, right on the edge of the point, so maybe we'll see him get his first points of the season. RBZ is slowly chipping away that gap down to 1.7 seconds now, so slowly chipping away at the gap. Melanie is dropping off of K, so Melanie might actually be out of the DRS. He is indeed out of the DRS. This is just what RBZ needs, because as soon as RBZ gets in that DRS, he'll start to reel him in even more. 1.6 the gap now, so RBZ is definitely on the chase of the Toro Rosso. So Melanie, I mean, he needs to do everything he can to hold on to that position, really, because he doesn't want to be losing any more positions and points to Thomas. Obviously going to extend his gap as it is. Melanie wants to be holding on to as many points as he can, but RBZ might be making that an impossible task for Melanie. And Ninjas is not really dropping that much off RBZ. He's still only a second back, so Ninjas might end up getting past Melanie as... Sorry about that. Might end up getting past Melanie as well. Ninja's not actually dropping back as quick as I thought he would. 1.3 seconds. But RBZ now with that gap under a second and a half. He's getting very close to that threshold of 1 second where he'll get the DRS on those 2 long straights. Ooh. Massive loss to the back end there and a little clip. I think it was the rear end that touched the wall actually, so I don't think he would have got damage from that. than maybe he did. Seems to have struggled a bit through there. Don't actually know. It seemed like it was the rear end that took the hit on the wall, but he has lost time from anyway, 1.7 seconds, so he just needs to keep it consistent and get back onto the chase. And only losing a couple of tenths, don't want to do it. 1.6 the gap across the line, so he's caught back up in that final sector. Melani's sort of getting back within the range of K, 1.1 seconds, 1.0, so closing back up to K now, back under a second, so maybe Melanie can put a fight to the Sauber of LK91. I'm not quite sure about that. He is slowly catching up as RBZ is dropping off, so he does indeed have front wing damage, massive front wing damage to that front right end play. I don't know when he got that, but he does indeed have major front wing damage to that front right end plate of his Renault. Such a disappointment for RBZ because it was on the charge to Melanie, but really going to struggle now. He might have to pit for that. That is quite heavy damage by the looks of things. But Melanie is really catching up to K now, 4 tenths back. He's back in the DRS. Melanie remotivated, it seems, after seeing RBZ drop off. And Melanie going to come into the last sector with K. Can he put any sort of move onto that straight? He's going to need a perfect run through this corner to get him. I think he's probably going to be a bit too far back, although maybe not. It is a long straight, so with the DRS that he will have again, we'll see what his straight line speed's like. I think he'll probably be running one front wing like most people probably will. He is getting ever so slightly, now opens the DRS. Can he get him before the end of the straight? He might just have to chuck one up the inside. He's going to be very close, but he isn't going to risk it up the inside. Probably just going to wait for after turn 2. I wouldn't chuck it up the inside there, Mel. He's not going to do that. Gets a decent run now and gets the DRS open, but actually not that good of a run at all. Not gaining that much. Is he going to just chuck it up the inside? I don't think he will. No, he's not just going to chuck it up the inside, so Melanie pretty much going to have to stay behind for another lap unless K makes a mistake. Maybe could have got him into that turn 1, but would have been a difficult one to pull off in the 90-degree left-hander. As Verstappen on the mediums sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, showing, well, I'm guessing that just showing that the undercut will be quite effective if it does transpire, because Verstappen fastest on the mediums while the others are on the supers, so that might be what Melanie needs to do. He might need to flick the switch and go for an undercut. He's now 8 tenths back again, so dropped off K again. I'm not sure whether K just made a couple of mistakes which let Mel catch up, but he is back to 8 tenths and he won't be able to get him on the straight. I do not think. He's a lot further back than he was last time. RBZ still keeping the gap at 1.7 seconds, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he's got damage. Let's just have a quick check on Hayden. Yeah, he absolutely has damage. Definitely has damage to RBZ. How long he's going to stay out for, I don't know. I think he'll probably wait. Is that Melanie coming to the pits? That is Melanie coming into the pits. So what I just said about an undercut, Melanie's going for it. I'm assuming he will go onto the medium compound tyres, dropping through the field. Where is he going to rejoin? Will he come out ahead of Height? Oh yeah, he has his 5-second stop go. Oh no, I forgot about that. Oh, that is such a disappointment. Going on to the softs apparently. Fair enough. I have no idea what strategy is, so maybe it's supers to softs. But he is still going to remain ahead of his teammate. But that will hurt him. I completely forgot that he has a penalty, so his chance of the undercut pretty much gone, because unless he's going to gain like 6 seconds in 1 lap or 2 laps, depending on how long K stays out. Although I'm not sure if he's going to go for a 2-stop with this. I have no idea what the strategy is, so we'll wait and see. This is useful info for my race in F2 tomorrow. Make sure you do check that out on the Twitch, same time, 7 PM tomorrow. We'll see if I can get a good result. Probably not, but you know, we'll see. There will also be a PS4 race, I believe, tomorrow, and possibly a Asia Pacific race in the morning. Not quite sure about that, but check out on the Twitch channel tomorrow. It's a very active day for league racing here at SRL, so check out the Twitch channel tomorrow for all the streams that you desire. Kay is going to respond to Melanie's pitting. Kay probably could have stayed out longer if he wanted to. I'm not sure if he physically could with his tyres, but could have stayed out longer in terms of not losing the position. Pietro Matto is going to stay out again along with Ben, but I assume RBZ will fix his front wing damage. Okay, RBZ will not fix his front wing damage. I'm not quite sure how major it is though. Can't be that bad if he's not going to fix it. He's going to come out just behind K actually. It was a bit wide there as the 5-second stop go has completely ruined Melanie, and now RBZ has got onto the podium essentially, 1.3 seconds off of K, and RBZ in the Renault is provisionally on the effective podium after Pietro Matto and Ben pit. Mundo has binned it coming into the pits, it seems. That's a wheel. That car should not be drivable. I mean, I'm not sure why he's... Oh god, that's quite interesting. And he's been released. It's not unsafely. Oh my god, he's been flown back onto the track. And he's got his soft tyre going down. Whoa. Should be quite interested in see if his car's going to be there. No, his car has been thankfully removed from the track. That is quite fortunate. Thomas MB at the end of lap 10, the race leader, stayed out as long as he wanted, and he is going to pit now. I think his gap will have probably gone down because of the undercut, but he should still have a solid lead at the front of the pack. All the way down at the back end of the pit straight in that Sauber car onto the soft tyres. Should be able to easily take those to the end considering how long he has stayed out, and he has a solid lead as Pietro Matto and Ben do both come into the pits. So RBZ does have that podium in hand at the moment, even with the front wing damage to the end plate, and he looks to possibly be on the back of K. He does have the DRS, so it is wide open coming down into turn 4, I believe that this is, or turn 3 actually. This is turn 4. But RBZ does have the podium, and I think he will want that second place as well. He's been very familiar with second place in SRL plenty of times. Second place for RBZ in the championship mainly. Didn't quite manage second place in season 5, but he'll be looking to get it in this Grand Prix. It's been quite a good recovery race so far from RBZ, considering his qualifying position. Qualified down in 7th place, up to 3rd, could be up to 2nd. But I think there's a little battle going on for 6th place. This may have actually been a battle that's already happened and I've missed it, not quite sure. But Ninjas, with a nice helicopter view, that's perfect. But Ninjas 4/10 off of height. Ben slowly dropping off of Ninjas. Ben, who has just pitted. Can Ninjas look to make a move on height? It looks to be very close, 3/10 according to the telemetry on the left hand side. Seems to have lost a bit there actually, but we'll go on board in this camera. I think RBZ's doing something up there, but that'll have to wait, as Ninjas doesn't actually seem to have a straight line speed to power past height. Whether he's going to go to the inside, he is not going to go to the inside, so I'll go back to RBZ. Can he make a move on K? I'm not sure whether he'll go to the inside. I don't think he'll be one to be scared of a move, but he's not going to risk anything, especially considering his front wing damage. would be quite a risk to just chuck it up the inside of the Ninjas. Gonna look to go around the outside of Height. Ninjas on the softs, Height on the mediums. Ninjas all the way to the edge of the track and almost into the wall, but good defending there from Height. Holds off Ninjas for now. Ninjas just cannot find a way past, and this is inviting Ben into the mix as well. We could see Ben take advantage and gain a few positions and up into 6th place on the fresh, soft compound tyres. He just needs to buy this time. Doesn't want to take front wing damage from either of these cars, so he just buys the time. Might be able to get a position, but losing the back end. Coming out of the just at the end of the castle section, so going to come into this downhill left-hander. Ninja needs to be really careful. He doesn't outbrake himself. Smash into the back of Height, but he seems to be really close now. Closer, I think, just than he was last lap. I think it was 4 tenths. Now it's about 3 tenths. Got to nail these apexes, just stick in the slipstream. As K sets the fastest lap of the race, actually, so K possibly looking to get on the back of Thomas. But Ninjas in the DRS now. Can he do anything? Is he going to go to the inside? He's going to dive it to the inside, but Height covers it off at the last minute. And Ninja still cannot find a way past Height. Very difficult corner to just send one up the inside in turn 1 with the 90 degrees of it. So Ninjas just cannot get the straight line speed out of that final couple of corners to propel himself past on the straight. I found quite interesting that Kay did actually set the fastest lap of the race. I think he has brought the gap by about a second, and he's not extended from RBZ either, so I'm not sure what's happening to Thomas. Maybe he's just taking it easy, not exactly pushing. But if Kay's setting that pace, if RBZ can get past him, then who knows what RBZ can do. But that's a matter of if RBZ can get past him. I imagine this last sector is being quite tough for RBZ, as I think he might hit the wall again, but no more damage conceded on that right side of that, as it's going to be quite hard to do. He has got a bit left just next to his wheel there, but he's very close now. And I think RBZ absolutely going to be setting up the move. He seems to have better straight line speed than K, obviously in the slipstream and the DRS, which will open just about now. Very close now is the Renault. And he's going to fly past. Can K defend on the inside? I think he can. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. I think RBZ, I'm not sure whether she got damage to the left hand side there. Would be very surprised if he doesn't, but now he's going to look to set up the move. DRS open, going to go to the inside. K left it too late to try and defend, although I think the yellow flags are out for Hayden. Oh, they've just avoided him. I'm not sure if RBZ will have been penalised for that. I believe the yellow flags were out when he made the move. We will see if RBZ was told to give the position back, as it will flash up with the penalty. Doesn't seem to have said anything just yet, so I think RBZ might have got away with that. It's his teammate who was retired. Well, I believe it was a teammate, wasn't it? Almost win his race. I realised that Ninjas has now dropped behind Ben, who is now a long way off Height, so Ninja's failed attempts to get past Height really has cost him. And I don't know if K has front wing damage. He's now dropping off of RBZ. Seems to have a fairly intact front wing. Yeah, that's pretty intact. I think he's going to be too far back to try and move back on the straight, so RBZ, he seems to be slowly dropping off Thomas again, so I don't think the win is going to be a possibility for RBZ, as RBZ is actually going to have to pit. Obviously gain more front wing damage, obviously with quite major front wing damage, and in second place he is going to have to pit. He's going to drop a long way down the field. Very disappointing for RBZ. he is going to pit himself onto the super soft compound tyres, and the front wing chain is going to put him out in pretty much last place, if not last place. Drawmaster might actually get past him. No, Drawmaster, I think he's going to be too far back to get past. Yeah, RBZ is going to come out ahead of Drawmaster, but RBZ with one pit stop puts himself down from 2nd place to 10th place, which shows that this field is quite close. The one pit stop with the front wing changes is relegated RBZ from 2nd to 10th, but K has been let off a bit there, back up to 2nd. I'm not sure what happened between them, whether K was at fault, whether RBZ was at fault, whether it was just a racing incident. There was definitely contact coming out of turn 1, which obviously gave RBZ more front wing damage. Okay, good 4 seconds ahead of Melanie now, so Melanie clearly just doesn't quite have the pace. Well, obviously he was set back quite a bit by the 5-second penalty, but he's not really caught back up, even with the calamity in turn 1 between K and RBZ. So looks as if Melanie might hold on to the podium, although Pietro will be one to watch in the Haas by the end of the race. 2.5 seconds off Melanie, 5 positions gained already, and he could be eyeing up that podium. Melanie's going to need to watch out, because Pietro could be looking at the podium. We shall have to wait and see. Ninjas with still roughly the same gap to Ben. Ben seems to be catching up to height again, so we'll see if Ben can make a move on height. These 3 drivers from F2 last season, well, a couple of them were a bit in and out, hot and cold, but all 3 drivers from F2 last season, and Ben is catching up to height. RBZ, we'll have to go on board with RBZ, because he's going to absolutely be on the move. Once, or if he gets past Ronan, he's going to have 6 seconds to catch up to Verstappen, and then another 6 to catch up to Ninja, so it's going to be a tall order for height to even get back into, even for RBZ to even get back into the top 5, but he will have the pace. Fresh front wing, fresh tyres. Is he going to look up the inside of Motor Ronan here? He's going to have a little look, but just not quite the space. He does need to get past ASAP, because she's going to lose more and more time to the cars ahead. But now he has got a chance. Fresh super softs. I think he has got a chance to get himself back into that top 5, but it's going to be very difficult with a little bit of a look there up inside. I'm not sure whether that would just to see if it'd send Ronan making a mistake. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do, see if he can force Ronan into a mistake. Now on the straight, on the DRS open, I don't imagine Motor Ronan will be a difficult pass, especially with the DRS and the fresh tyres. If you don't get him on the straight, you should be able to just swoop around into turn 1, you would think. Ronan, is he going to defend on the inside? He is going to defend. No, he's not. RBZ does set the fastest lap. RBZ goes up the inside, side by side now with Ronan. Still side by side into turn 2. But RBZ does make the move stick by the looks of it. I don't think Ronan's going to have another opportunity into turn 3. No, he's not. So RBZ set the fast lap on the last one. He is past Ronan and into 9th position. His next target being the Ferrari of ESR Verstappen, who just overall had a very disappointing race. A good quality position, but down in 8th. And now the prey of RBZ, who is on the chase. Ben, the gap just staying about 4 tenths here in this battle for 5th place. Ben just not quite closing it up, but he will probably get a chance on the straight. Ninja's slightly closing up on Ben, down to 3 tenths now. Any one of these 3 could take this 5th position. Hyatt has been on those median for a while. I'm not sure if he'll be able to take them to the end. After his lap 1 stop, I believe they are still the same set. They are indeed the same set, so his lap 1 stop, not sure if he'll be able to take those to the end, but if he does, they'll be very dead at the end, if they're not dead now. So it would be a tough order for him to stay in that top 5. Ben going to tuck into the slipstream, open the DRS. He's gaining. Is he going to gain enough? He is gaining quite quickly. RBZ Height going to defend to the inside. And Height does hold it off, and now Ben extremely close to Height into turn 2. He just needs to try and get a good run, but Height does get a good run and not Ben, so don't think Ben will be able to make a move. Although maybe you can just send one up the inside. He's gaining, but Height covers off the inside very well there, and Ben just unable to get past for the moment. Height just covering the inside very well at each corner. Every time Ben looks for a move, Height just denies it, shuts the door, closes off the inside. RBZ is actually into 8th. I think Verstappen's pitted again. Down now into 11th, just outside the points is Verstappen. So RBZ into 8th. 8.5 seconds off this battling group. If they continue battling, RBZ will absolutely be up with them by the end of the race. He's already catching extremely quickly. So Ben really needs to get past Height ASAP, because if he does get past, he should be able to build a bit of a gap and possibly not be caught by RBZ while they are battling, and Ben is stuck underneath Height. RBZ will be right onto the back of him. Whether RBZ will get past himself, I have no idea, but he will be there and he will have the chance. The gap about the same, I think 3/10 as we open the DRS, maybe slightly more than it was last lap. And Ben again gonna have to go to the outside, as he just cannot find the grip around the outside. Height covering the inside really well. RBZ sets another new fastest lap, and Ben, can he get a good run through turn 2? No, again he can't. Height getting the superior run through turn 2, and Ben still unable pull alongside, and there's just not going to be the space up the inside with Height there. So Ben must be getting really frustrated in the Red Bull, cannot find his way past the Toro Rosso. He's just really struggling for the run through turn 2. If he can hold that up, he'll probably get Height, but just cannot find the perfect run, as RBZ already 5.8 seconds behind this pack. You can see them just in front of him there, so RBZ is on the chase. You can see his target. I don't think the podium will be all possible for RBZ. If he gets past quickly, maybe, but I don't think the podium will be possible. Top 5 has to be the target, you would think, for Height, if not for Height, for RBZ and for Height as well. But he is chipping away at that gap. 5.5 now, it was 5.8, so the more they battle, there's a big slide of the back end through there. RBZ does seem to be struggling every lap through there, constantly hitting the curb, I think. Maybe that's just how he likes it, as Verstappen has retired from the session. He's into the wall. Is that at the castle section? That is at the castle section. Into the wall of the castle, and we now only have 10 drivers remaining, so as long as everyone finishes the race, they will score points. There's Ben into turn 1, closer than he was. He's now on the outside. He's got a good position here. He's going to try and go around the outside through turn 2, but he has to yield. Can he get the cutback manoeuvre on Height? He's really close now, Ben. The DRS is open. He's going to go to the outside. Can he go around the outside of Height? Very close between the two, and Ben is into the wall. That is front wing damage. But does he get the move done? He does get it done. But Ben absolutely has front wing damage now on that Red Bull. Whether he will stay out, I am not sure. But he does get into that top 5, so maybe he'll just try and stay out and hold on to it. This is the perfect opportunity for RBZ now. Ben with front wing damage will be holding up the pack even more now he's got past. Ben does finally get through, very close. It's almost always going to end in front wing damage when you try and go around the outside there, but Ben absolutely had to go for it. I'm not sure if Height could have given him any more room on the outside, but Ben had every right to go for it around the outside there. Now, I'm not sure if he will actually extend the gap. He obviously does have the superior tyres to height, but got major front wing damage on the right side. I think that's the whole right side gone. That could be red damage on the right hand side. If I was in this position, I would probably stay out. 5 laps left, although he may not be trusting it. Because one little mistake with this front wing damage, and you can find yourself out of the race. As Ninjas possible to go for a move on High. High has the DRS. Ben does stay out for now. More difficult for Ninjas as High does have the DRS from Ben. Ninja's going to try and launch it around the outside into turn 1. Cannot find the room. Ninjas will probably want to get through cleaner than Ben did. And again, Height just getting a good run through that turn 2. Ben is actually slowly extending the gap on Height, so it shows how much of a difference they have in the tyres at the moment. Ben with what must be at least orange or red wing, still able to slowly extend the gap. But what can RBZ do? 5 laps remaining, or maybe 6. 5 or 6 laps remaining, and he has every chance on those super soft tyres. I imagine they will be wearing out quite quickly. They're probably getting past their best of super softs, but they will still be better than the mediums Height has on, and probably the softs that Ben and Ninjas have on. Ben really struggling through this middle sector. I think he was struggling through that castle section. So Height is quite close, 3 tenths, 4 tenths. But I don't think he'll be able to get past. Maybe he can get past on the straight. But RBZ 1.9 back now, so RBZ really closing him in, obviously. Ben's front wing damage pretty much just backing everyone up, including himself, into RBZ. You would think it would possibly be easy pickers for RBZ, but we've seen how tight the battling has been. Height gonna look to get past Ben now, I think. Here we have a nice helicopter cam. Hopefully stay on this for the whole straight. No, never mind. The DRS is open for Height. It looks like Ben is running quite low wings, probably lower than Height, but Height is going to go to the inside. Ben somehow holds it around the outside, even with the front wing damage. Height going to go the inside, as Ben again holds it around the outside, even with the front wing damage. So good driving there from Ben to hold off the attack of Height. Now Ninja's going to look at the outside where Ben got past. Well, not actually where Ben got past, but same position where Ben got his front wing damage, and you can see the debris there, but Ninja's backs out, doesn't hit the wall. Now RBZ seeing this big train in front of him, probably just plotting his moves, thinking, how the hell am I going to get past this? Battling has been very tight for this P5. 12.6 seconds is the gap up to P4. Pietro not really closed in on Melanie since the last time we mentioned him, so Melanie holding on to the podium for the moment. But RBZ, every second, every corner, closing in on the cars in front. Ninja seems to have slightly dropped back, so this might be a perfect opportunity for RBZ to get up into 7th with Ninjas off the pack. As RBZ not going to go for a move here, but he will get the chance. Well, a little lost the back end there, but I think he will get the chance onto the straight. Obviously Ninjas will have DRS, loads of DRS going off here. But RBZ, can he get past? I'm not sure. 3 tenths back. Obviously won't have a massive advantage with the straight line speed, if an advantage at all. No, he seems to be dropping back actually, as Ninja's more focused on getting around Height. Just saw Ninjas pull out to the outside. Ninjas off at turn 1, and that's going to allow RBZ through. RBZ up into P7. Can he get past Height now? Get Height getting a better run than RBZ through turn 2. Height just seems to be the master of turn 2 at the moment. Both of them with a little bit of a cheeky trip to the inside, just showing their intent. But yeah, RBZ going to want to get past Height sooner than later. He's actually going to go the inside. Minor contact, I think. I think RBZ's going to go for it again now. He's alongside, and Height, I think, is letting through. Yeah, Height not going to battle that. RBZ on the super softs. And now RBZ going to chase down Ben. Only 4 tenths of the gap, and Ben obviously with major front wing damage. I'm thinking Height's probably going to try and follow RBZ through. Ben might actually get through now. I mean, RBZ might get through now. There's almost contact. As Ben is going to let him go, so if Height was trying to follow RBZ through, that didn't work out very well because RBZ got through easily. So RBZ recovers himself to P5. Not bad to say that he pitted down to, what, 10th place I think it was from second. So a decent recovery drive from RBZ. 3 laps remaining in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We'll go on board with Thomas for a bit. Actually, no, we won't, because Ninjas is very close with Height. Ninjas may have finally just got past Height. I don't think he went past him already. Ninjas. Oh, but Height gonna absolutely launch her around the outside. And Height makes slight contact with the wall there. I don't think he actually took any damage, but Ninjas is finally through. And can Ninjas look for Ben? It's really heating up. I was going to say we'll have a bit of a watch on with the race leader, championship leader, Thomas MB for a bit, but the battling still very heated. I assume his mediums have absolutely gone at this point. You can see it. I mean, looking at that front right and the front left, you can see that those tyres have absolutely gone. Did obviously pit for them on lap 1, so he's done well to take them to the end. Ninjas, when is he going to make a look past? He doesn't have to make anything irrational because he's not going to get past RBZ, you would not think, so he needs to bide his time. I don't think Ninjas has any front wing damage. It all looks normal. If he has got damage, it's nothing major, nothing anywhere near what Ben has got. Didn't mean to do that. He should be losing out on the straight, so possibly we're in low wings and Ben just hit the wall again. That was definitely more damage, and Ninja spotted it, goes up the inside, and that is 6th place for Ninjas. Maybe Height gonna look to get his own back on Ben, although Ben, I think he will have the DRS. I'm not quite sure where the activation zone is, but I think he will have the DRS. Would assume so. Does indeed have the DRS, but I don't think he's gonna have a chance of getting back past Ninjas. Height now maybe has a chance to get himself into 7th, with Ben having even more front wing damage. And Height's going to look to set it up, you think, through turn 2. He's been taking good runs through turn 2. All time while defending. Decent one there. But I don't think he's going to get the chance unless he dives up the inside of Ben. Which he's not going to do, but Ben will be extremely slow, so Height will have every chance. Ben, I'm not quite sure where he's actually got more damage. I don't see anything more to the left, and I thought he took everything off the right hand side, but Height all on the back of Ben. Not quite able to get past there. Height, is he going to the inside? No, he is not. He only has this lap and the next one. I think he's on, yeah, he is on lap 25 along with Thomas. So Thomas, who does actually start the final lap about now, I would assume, maybe. Okay, maybe not. There you go. Lap 26. Thomas does start the final lap. The solid gap. But all eyes at the moment are on Height. This is the closest battle at the moment. See if he can get past Ben in the Red Bull. As said, Height needs every point he can get to put his championship back on track. It is actually, these two are directly next to each other in the championship, so this position for Height would put himself ahead of Ben. So be a nice one for him to get, but he seems to be losing out on the straight again, so might not be possible. He breaks a lot later into turn 1. Maybe he's going to chuck it up the inside and into turn 2. Wouldn't be surprised, but he's not going to go for it. Is he going to get the DRS though? I mean, obviously going to get the DRS, but is he going to be able to launch it up the inside into turn 3? Not quite able to get past. We'll go back on board with Thomas MB as he is just coming into the final sector. I think Height has actually just got past. Wow. Although Ben, in order to get the inside, let's go on board with Thomas, because as much as they are battling, we want to be on board with the race leader and the race winner across the line. He's kept it solid all race. Thomas takes pole. I think he led every lap as well. Going to come across the line to take the race victory along with his pole. 11.9 seconds, and Thomas MB is the race winner. His third race win in a row, and he extends his lead of the championship. K in the Sauber going to complete the 1-2 for Sauber. 12 seconds back in the end from his teammate. A solid race for K. And Melanie finishes in P3 with Pietro in P4. Melanie doing well to hang on to the podium. Didn't seem to quite have the pace of Thomas, but he holds onto the podium with the gap now going to be 17 points in favour of Thomas, with Melanie in second, RBZ 5th, Ninja in 6th, Ben is in 7th. Height has actually crashed across the line and dropped down to 9th place in the end, and Drawmaster a long way back in the McLaren Honda. Going to come through the final couple of corners down to the line to score the final points position and the last finisher of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 14 started, 10 finished. Drawmaster the last one to come across the line and finish the Grand Prix, as we flew past Height Star Rosso on the side of the track there. So we'll just wait for the podium and confirmation of the race results. A very interesting race there. Thomas, not very interesting at the front, as Thomas just kept it on top and dominated all throughout, but that battle for 5th in the end, and then a 6th, and then 7th, and Height ended up finishing 9th in the end after being 5th for so long. But Thomas MB is the race winner. Very hard fought win. I don't imagine it was very stressful. Constantly had the lead. He had 2-second lead after lap 1, but does very well there to win his 3rd in a row. So here is the final race classification. Thomas MB wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. LK91 in P2, Melanie 88 in P3, Pietro Mato in P4, RBZ with a decent recovery drive after pitting back up into P5, Ninjas in P6, Ben in P7, Most Ronin in P8, Height getting 9th in the end, so 2nd to 9th, not the greatest race for Height. Drawmaster in 10th, and then all the cars that retired in 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th positions. So we will get the podium drivers into the party for an interview. We'll do that when we load back into lobby screen, because I don't think I have as friends, so we'll have to wait for the lobby screen. So let's get all the podium finishers into the party for the interviews. As there is the race winner, Thomas MB. I'm just waiting for the other two. Does Kay have a mic?
He does.
Okay, cool.
Were you here all by yourself?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Oh, lucky mate.
No, we're quite entertained.
To keep it interesting. Yeah, good.
I probably didn't, but you know. Right, where's Melanie then? Right, Bob.
So, how was the race from your point of view?
Me or Thomas?
You, obviously.
Oh, interesting. There was a lot of battling down the field. Right, we've got everyone in the party now, so we'll commence the interviews. So, Thomas, that's your third win in a row. You extend the championship lead out to 17 points, I believe. Quite a dominating one in the end. Just talk us through your thoughts of the race.
Well, I'm kind of I don't know what happened between Height and Verstappen. There's a bit of a
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what happened there either.
It looked like they just missed the braking zone, but obviously
Right.
ran just
Yeah.
right into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward from there. Whatever just to say.
Yeah. Yeah. 12 seconds in the end, so yeah. We'll move on to K, obviously. Second place after your third place qualifying, I believe. Let's talk us through your thoughts on that. Fourth? I don't know.
I think
Fifth? Fourth? Second? Fourth? I don't know. But second place in the end. You slightly closed the gap to Melanie for second place. Obviously lose out more to Thomas in the championship. Are you aiming for the championship lead, or like what are you aiming for in the championship?
well, of course I'm aiming the second place. I think Thomas is way faster than me, and I'm the second driver isn't sober, so you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, of course I want the second place and the first place in constructor championship. But for this race, fortunately for me, I believe hit the wall. He passed me on the same lap, and he pitted to replace his front wing. So I got the second place because of it.
Yeah.
So that was a good race for Sober 1-2. That's what we are looking at every race.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah, second 1-2 of the season for Sauber. We'll move on to Melanie. You seem to be a bit off the pace of Thomas. Obviously still second in the championship, but you drop another 10 points. Talk us through your thoughts on the race.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty much done on lap one when Verstappen, I think he hit height or something like that, last sector, which caused yellow flags and gave me an inches, but no one else stopping go. So that pretty much.
Yeah.
Luckily, opposite had his little trouble, so I lucky podium again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 4 podiums in a row. The only driver to be on the podium every race, so at least you're getting the consistency.
It's just something.
But yeah, that is. We're gonna round off the stream. Congratulations to Thomas for his third win in a row. Sort of starting to walk away with it now, but hopefully it'll remain a bit more interesting. We'll have many races tomorrow on the Twitch channel, and join us next week for round 5 at some track. I don't know what it is, but yeah, join us next week. Spain, that one, yeah.
Spain.
Yeah, join us next week for round 5 at Spain, and goodbye.